Welcome to a look at Belgium Open versus Barbarians from this weekend's London invite. This is going to be a little more off the cuff than what I normally do, which kind of suits how this game went. For anyone unfamiliar with Barbarians, they are a pickup team that played London invite last year and this year. They are composed of some of the very top players in Europe, a really smart, athletic and skilled bunch, and they also love showing off on stream. So no surprise that they did that here, going up a couple of breaks early on Belgium. We are going to pick things up with Barbarians up 14-13. Belgium on 0, facing game point if they turn over. A really nice pull from Barbarians, not very well fielded from Belgium. Belgium coming out in their classic horizontal set, just running a simple pepper mill in the middle of the pitch. And once the play breaks down, also run their classic set of kind of clearing the space and letting Dan Demarais take over the offense, which he does really well, moving the disc. Belgium look pretty comfortable and composed facing game point here, but all that's about to change. Yeah, if you're seeing that for the first time, that is as wild as it looks. Let's go back and take a quick look. I love scoobers. No secrets there. I don't know if I've ever seen an inverted scoober thrown sideline to sideline in this fashion. Kind of love it. I put that down at the drop. Don't hate that choice at all, but as I said, this game's a little wild, and that's not the wildest thing that's going to happen. Okay, so Barbarians here with a chance to win the game. Jack McNamara hooking to Dean McCreary, who attempts to toe it in. You can tell by his reaction, he's just looked at the cone and realised that he's attempted to toe something in at the wrong line and has missed a chance to win the game. Let's rewind this and we're going to look at how does Dean McCreary end up in this situation, and then we're going to take a longer look at what happens here. Okay, so going back to this turnover, this wonderful inverted leading scoober. Barbarians pick up quickly, and it's actually McCreary who picks it up and takes off down the sideline. Because of the way the matchups have come out here, he's been guarded by Dan Demarais. You can see Demarais in here, and Dean is going deep down the sideline. If you're familiar with Demarais' game, you know he's looking to get involved in the play. He's not interested in following a cutter who's clearing out down the sideline. So that's exactly what's going to happen over the next few seconds as Barbarians move the disc around. You can see Demarais and McCreary are both in the middle of the pitch here. Dan is only looking towards where the disc is going, and Dean's recognised that and he is looking the opposite way. So I guess what we're about to see sums up a lot of the way Demarais plays defense. He's prepared on game point to gamble on getting a block. He's not just going to let Barbarians walk to this game on 1v1 matchups. He's trying to get involved and trust that his teammates can help cover up anything that happens. But that's not what happens. He lets McCreary go. The deep help is there, but is very focused on their own matchup. And Demarais is looking at this and probably realising this point that, yeah, McCreary's just gone. And there's nobody covering him. The deep help does realise that, thinks about getting back into play, realises he can't, and it's basically game over until it isn't. I don't want to focus too much on McCreary's drop here. I think it's a pretty obvious mistake. There's partial lines about 8 metres from the back of the pitch and maybe only 5 metres, and he has tried to toe it in. I will just point out for posterity though that he is not going to actually be in even if he catches the disc here. Let's take a look at where he sets his feet. I'm pretty sure that where he sets his feet is not in the line he's trying to toe anyway. But a mistake that could happen to anyone, but is probably far more likely to happen to a handler that finds himself in the end zone when they're not very used to it. However, that just gives Belgium the disc with full field to go, and it's still a game point with Barbarians putting a lot of pressure on. A huge hook straight off the turnover, and Demarais magics up a greatest, and Sofiane Bontemps skies the two defenders to level up the game. So I said it would get wilder. We went from an inverted scoober across the pitch to a bizarre attempt to throw in to a greatest. Want to focus a little bit more on this greatest because it's a really, really good greatest. I put out a video a while back about positioning early rather than kind of getting under the disc and then trying to position. You can see Demarais, like, we can't even, he's so far out of, he's about 20 metres out of the end zone, he's throwing the greatest from 10 metres in the end zone. So Demarais is only thinking of sealing out his defender here, just getting across them, which is definitely the correct thing to do when you're running down a floating disc like this. You know you're not just going to be able to run it out. So he gets across him, keeps that position the whole way, and obviously very early decides that he's not going to be able to toe that in. Ironically, these two things happen back to back. It's definitely 2 or 3 metres off the pitch. Demarais is not going to be long enough to get to that. So he decided to go for the greatest. He throws an unbelievable greatest. Very controlled. Gets loads of whip on it. Obviously what's important as well is Bontemps. Look how far away from the action he is here, but he does not stop, and he keeps tracking this disc just in case he's needed, even though he knows he's not going to get there. And that's a sign of a player that's mentally incredibly switched on and all the possibilities. Maybe you've seen Demarais do this a million times in Belgium training. I don't know, but he definitely put himself in the right position. The defenders trying to scramble to recover, but they're too small, and Bontemps is not going to waste that opportunity, taking this down for a very strange and spectacular offensive hold. Okay, so after all that, Belgium need to break to win. It's a fantastic pull here. Belgium always throwing really good pulls. It's not a fantastic pull field, letting the pull drop. Followed up by, it was probably the worst moment of the whole game, which is a ridiculous travel call. It's probably a travel. I think Freddie Rogers, actually not even sure it is a travel. Even if it was, why are you calling travel on a sideways pass in the back of their own end zone with no stall count or anything on? So not a good way to start what hopefully is going to be a great universe point. The Barbarians O-line have been very, very good all game. It's a really nice fake there to move the poach to get this back to Rogers, and then when Wilson gets it here to play bogs down a little bit, the mark gets a little too enthusiastic, but an accepted foul call, absolutely no problem there. You can see here that the spacing from the Barbarians coming out of here isn't particularly great. Spacing handlers is good, but downfield there's a lot of traffic. And if you know Belgian play defense, they're going to try and use that traffic to their advantage. So Wilson's going to bring this back in. When it comes back in, we'll look straight for the reset. It's really well defended up the line, and then like magic, Demarais appears to get the clutch block. So let's take another look at that. Okay, so like I said, the spacing not ideal. You can see obviously a lot of inactive players dotted around. All the Belgium defenders looking at the disc. Demarais, who's got a really tough matchup here, facing up against probably the best receiver of a high disc in Europe, who you would think would absorb most of Demarais' attention, but if you think that, you do not know Demarais. But it's good team defense that we're going to see, but all good team defense has to start with some good one-on-one defense to start, and this upline cut here is defended really, really well, which enables the team defense to take over. So once the cut upline is over, the defender, and apologies, I don't actually know who, can't actually see who this is. Defender stays in the lane, just looking to help out, which is necessary because Onslaught attacks that space and does get open. So this is a really good stay here. This leaves Rogers free up the line. But like I said, Demarais is just ready and waiting to take this opportunity. This says a lot about Demarais, and we've just seen it in back-to-back points. The previous point, also game point, he's prepared to gamble. Failed. Got quite fortunate that McCreary made a mistake on the catch, a wide open catch in the end zone. That was caused by Demarais taking the risk. Here again, it's game point. He's taking the risk. He's letting an unbelievable receiver run deep, completely uncontested, but he's prepared to take that risk. And that's why he is such a threatening and frightening defender to come up against, because you think you're hitting a poach player and he's able to peer out nowhere, and he has the speed and he has the body control to get that block completely clean, no question. Final point here really is, like, when you're up against teams playing good poaching team defense, when you have the opportunity to hit a poach player, I'm not saying you have to throw an inverted scoober, but you probably want to throw something a little faster than a flat floating backhand. Belgium then have the chance to win the game. Tough position to come in, pinned on the sideline. It's a little, I mean, it's a bid coming in here. It's he kind of leaves his feet after the catch, but respect the hustle nonetheless. While this is happening, a really nice, nice upline cut from Demarais, and we see Onslaught kind of in the Demarais role here, where he sees that danger early. He wants to help out. Lander de Cran has the disc. Again, if you know anything about Lander de Cran, he has a mean hammer, and he shows that mean hammer, and it's really well taken down. Tough position for Onslaught. Like, I'd like to say, in one way, that leaving the Crown with a wide open hammer shot is, I mean, you just chalk that up as a goal. You probably won't defend that. On the other hand, Demarais is getting wide open up line, so he tries to play a little bit both, ends up kind of stuck in no man's land, but he is left on an island to defend that. A win snatched by Belgium. Had the clutch play at the end. Demarais obviously coming up with multiple moments to win that game. Utterly insane decisions all around. Like I said, phenomenal game. Well worth watching the full thing. Lots of good moments from both teams. If you're not familiar with all the best players in European Open, you know, like 70% of them are on the pitch showing off here. So great watch for everybody. Thanks for watching.